Hey everyone. So just getting to the shop here, dragging my feet a little bit this morning. It's nice and snowy out today. Haven't really posted anything in the past few days, or over a week, probably 2 weeks now. But figured I'd film a little bit today, give a little farm update. Not a lot has been going on at the farm really. I spent a lot of days just in the semi-truck. I was actually supposed to be driving the semi-truck today, hauling soybeans. I hauled corn yesterday, but the way it's snowing and they're calling for chances of rain even, figured it'd probably be better to leave the semi-truck in the driveway. Gonna let this blow over. Just gonna hang out in the shop most of the day here. Always something to do in here. Dad has been working on our header cart. This has been the header cart for our grain head for, I don't know, 15 plus years it seems like. But we are actually setting this up to haul the corn head now. So that's kind of what Dad's been working on. He moved the tail lights down here that used to be on the back end here. We slid the beam forward so it's more center. We actually cut some of the beam off. We don't need the trailer that long anymore. And it was already a piece that was added onto it, so this is more original again. And then he welded the strap iron here around the holder so the corn head fit where to slide. It won't slide off. Same over here. And then we also slid the beam forward. I believe he went through all the wheel bearings yesterday while I was gone trucking, so those are all greased. I think it's pretty much done. I'm not sure what else he has to do to it, but overall, yeah, I think this can go out of here yet today, and we can finally drop the corn head onto a cart and get the corn head moved off of this farm and probably take it down south. We're limited on storage here. The big shed's full right now as it is, so it'd be nice to get, the corn head on the cart, moved out of here. It's already the middle of January, so free up some space in the machine shed. And then another thing, slowly been picking on a little bit. We have the Rogator behind me here. I'll probably start working on that a little bit today. This is yet to be winterized. We planned on winterizing it and keeping it at our southern farm, and we usually store it down there. We were just running out of time, and it started to get cold out, so we brought it here in the heated shop, and here it's been sitting. So while I go through this, I already got most of the filters and everything for it, so we can change the oil and everything, and then yeah, put the antifreeze in it, get it winterized. After that, there's a good chance we'll just take it down to our southern farm and park it for the next couple months until we need to use it again. The only other thing I would like to do to this, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to it because one, it's snowy and windy outside, and I don't know when we're gonna have the next nice day, is do some touch-up paint on it. The ladder's probably the worst part. I would like to take the whole ladder off and repaint the ladder. Leads to my next problem. I cannot find a paint that matches. This is a Rogator SS884. This is like right before they switched to the gray wheels. I believe this is the last series before they switched to the gray wheels. And it's not egg chem yellow. That's too yellow. It's really bright yellow. And then I got a can of this Exo Rust. It's the Caterpillar yellow. So I tried this Caterpillar yellow, which online, the older Rogators I believe are supposed to be cat yellow, but as you can see here, I don't know, I can't tell very good on camera, but there's a bit of a difference. If I start painting a bunch of stuff with this paint, you're gonna notice quite a bit that it's not true. Like I said, it's hard to tell on camera, but. So the only other paint I haven't tried that I think would be close is old cat yellow. The older style paint they used on the older machines. So I'm gonna try to find a can of that and give that a test run. Other than that, I don't know. Stepped in the cold storage shed to plug some of the machines in. Gonna get them started in a little bit here. When the header cart's done, we're gonna back the combine out and drop the corn head on it. So I got the pickup behind me here plugged in. I got the 81 plugged in, and I can't seem to find the plug for the S660. So I believe the old one on the old combine was on the side here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it, so I grabbed the light. I am not seeing any block heater on here, so I'm just not seeing it, or if they did not put one on here, I don't know. Might have to make a phone call. Or once Dad gets the header cart done, we'll back that out, pull the machines out, drop the corn head on the header cart, and then we'll probably push it back in to the heated shop there, and we'll pick through the corn head real quick, throw some grease at it, and pick at it real quick. Anything else that's broken, we can fix. I'm gonna go try to find out if there's even a block heater on this thing and where it would be at to plug it in. If not, the 8100 in the work truck and the semi truck outside are plugged in. So let those sit for an hour or so, and we'll get everything started up. Stepped away from the oil change project inside the shop, and we're gonna try to get the corn head dropped off and put back in the shop before lunch. So time to fire everything up and get it out of the way so we can back the combine out. I ended up bringing the 8100 home, I think sometime last week, and power washed it before it got really cold out. Still needs to be going through. For whatever reason, the mice like to get in this one, so we try to keep the cab clean and empty. Even the owner's manuals, we don't keep in here anymore. They like to chew on those every once in a while. So it was sitting at our southern farm, I don't know, for a good month and a half. And mice did get in here. Not too bad, but I did notice some droppings. So it'd be nice to get this all vacuumed out and clean. Not gonna have time for that today. Just gonna keep working on the Rogator and the corn head, get that ready to go and get that out of here. Going to have to wait for a dry day to move it, but at least I'll be ready. So even from just power washing this one always cleans up really nice, but it'll look a lot better once we wax it and everything else. Let's see if Dad can get the combine out of here around the semi-truck. Not gonna fit, so gonna air up the semi-truck real quick and pull it ahead 10 feet and get this out of the way. That looks pretty good. Way nicer than the old header cart. Got the corn head in here now. Go through this really quick, grease everything, and then we can put this away for storage. Once we park it, probably won't even look at it until fall. We typically change these every other year, it seems like, or 500 hours or something like that. But these were a couple years old, so it was time. So just got the oil changed on and the filters changed out, hydraulic fuel. Still waiting on one air filter for the engine, and then that would be pretty much wrapped up. I did polish the hood a few days ago, or actually last week. The Rogator yellow and even the Challenger yellows get really faded really fast for whatever reason. And I typically use the Meguiar's cleaner wax on a lot of our equipment. This doesn't really do anything. It just soaks it up instantly, and it doesn't look like you do anything. But I ended up using this Ultimate Black plastic restorer, and turned out pretty good. So it's not super shiny or anything like that, but it also doesn't look faded like it did a week ago. So I didn't film any of that, some before and afters, but I still need to polish the roof. It looks fine on camera, but start looking at it up top, it needs to be touched up yet. So gotta clean that up, clean the windows. Those are full of water spots really bad. Need to grease it yet. And obviously get the antifreeze in here and get it winterized. Dad ended up getting some new spray tips. These are the blue Turbo T or Turbo Jet Ts. And we typically use blue 85% of the time. So we usually change these ones out every year, and then we kind of change the other ones out every other year or every few years. Those ones don't get used that often, but the blues get used every year. So I believe there's like 60 or so that need to be swapped out. So that takes a minute. A couple of these tires have some slow leaks on them now. Seems like this last year, it's like 2 or 3 of them that are starting to leak kind of slow. I don't know if picked up a little screw or something. We should look them over. There was one on here that always had a slow leak in that back passenger side corner. Looking at them, I got a couple squatting from sitting in here over a month. So pump those up. Me and Dad have been talking about replacing these tires because they're getting pretty wore out anyways. But we're also debating whether we want to get some bigger tires for springtime for our burn down before anything's planted, and then some really skinny tires for our post. But to have 2 sets of tires for the spray around can be pretty expensive. Or these ones are kind of in between. They're not super wide, but they're not super skinny either. So when you're doing your posts, they're too wide. And then early spring, when you're doing your burn down and stuff, they're not wide enough. Be nice to have more flotation. And then when you're driving through the soybeans later in the summer and stuff, it'd be nice to have really skinny tires so you're not running over so much. Whatever we decide, I have a feeling we're probably just gonna replace these tires and get new ones for these rims. Really want to repaint these rims. They're getting pretty wore, scuffed up and rusty in spots. So be nice to put a new coat of paint on them. We actually do have a couple cans of the Agco gray that match the Challengers, our Challenger, our big articulated 945C that's on the tile plow all the time, and the newer Rogators, that gray. So I'll probably end up painting these gray instead of white. Burn up a couple paint cans that we have just laying around here. So those have already been sitting for a couple years since I've painted the Challenger wheels. So that, I think, would actually make it a little more modern or newer with the gray anyways. So, but who knows, maybe some people won't like it because it doesn't look original. But I think the gray actually looks better. So that's just talk though. Got a few months before we even think about painting stuff outside, really, unless we find a really warm, odd day here. So that's just something to think about, planning ahead for 2024. It's something I kind of wanted to do last year, just didn't get to it. So gonna try to get it done this year. I don't think we really have any plans of upgrading sprayers unless something really major happens to this thing. I think we're gonna keep this for quite some time yet. So it'd be nice to clean up the paint on the wheels and the yellow paint, like I said earlier, on the steps, and then even do some touch up on the boom, because that's starting to get rusty in some spots. But I don't want to just get a paint that's close to it. I want to get a paint that actually matches so it doesn't look silly. As you can see, it's starting to get bubbled up on the boom and some spots here and there. It'd be really nice to touch up some of the paint. Could use another 20-30 minutes of power washing on this thing too. I kind of noticed when I brought it home a month and a half ago, I power washed it in like an hour and it was super muddy, and yeah, it still could use some power washing time to get it cleaned up really nice. But the big engine air filter, waiting on one of these yet. Last time this was replaced was 2016, so I'd say it's about due. The sprayer doesn't really get super dusty in the field like a lot of the other machines, and it rides up high, so doesn't see a lot of the dust compared to the other machines, but still, from being 2016, I think it's time for a new one. So want to make sure my lights are all working. I believe they are. It's not too often we're spraying at night, but it's good to make sure they're working while it's in here anyways. Just did a walk around with the lights and flashers running, and all of them work except for these two back tail lights. So got to figure out what's going on with them. I have a grease zerk busted off here. It's supposed to look like that, so I'm gonna find one that'll match and get this thing greased up. Got this thing greased up now. Another thing I want to do before it leaves the farm is want to go through these sensors. There's 3 of them for your header height. It won't calibrate with the combine properly. I noticed the past year or two, and you got to kind of shim these arms up trying to calibrate it. I'm not sure what all needs to be replaced, but we'll pull it apart here and see what we can find. That, I'm probably gonna replace the rubber flaps here in the center of the cross auger. Getting kind of wore, so replace these. I'm gonna call the store in a minute here and see if they have them. And probably won't go to the store today. Sorry to get kind of late in the afternoon, but see if they have them and get them coming. If not, then Dad can go and pick them up. So it's the next morning here. I just got to the shop, started up the semi. Gonna go do 3 loads of corn today, hauling out of our southern farm. So I'm gonna deadhead there with the truck right now. I'm just letting it warm up a minute. That's gonna suck up a good chunk of my day. As for yesterday goes, I think once I turn the camera off, not a lot's got done. Ended up sweeping the snow off the truck, so it's ready for this morning yesterday. So the ladder was nice and wet, so I had it over here by the door. I was running around grabbing parts and filters, and then on the phone making phone calls looking for parts and ordering stuff off my phone pretty much the rest of the day. So yeah, trying to get an earlier start today, and hopefully we can get back here and finish up at least the corn head and keep picking on the sprayer. So got the truck preloaded with soybeans for tomorrow. The work day is already kind of winding down. Sucks up a lot of time just sitting in the truck all day, 3 loads of corn, and then preload for tomorrow. I realized I never made ending to this video. It's just kind of been all over the place. I get a lot of questions from people, family, friends and stuff, what we do in the winter, and this is kind of a taste of it. Kind of all over the place, really. Working on machines and hauling grain and getting stuff prepared for next year, and trying to get stuff cleaned up and put away in storage for the next few months until harvest and everything else. The sprayer is just about done. Fluids, filters and stuff is all changed. I haven't finished waxing the roof yet, but that's just about done. Same goes for the corn head. Dad went and picked up those rubber paddles for the cross auger in the center, and he's also been working on the sensors, the height sensors. So corn head's just about done. Also, I am preloaded for tomorrow for the road trip to haul soybeans. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you made it to the end, thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.